mums, it's Nikki here from the Mum team. How are you tonight? It is Tuesday night and I don't know about you, but sometimes I get really sick of having to come up with dinner. Nobody in my house does it other than me at the moment. I'm hoping that changes as my kids get a little bit older and I can't quite convince Daddy that he should get involved in the kitchen. So it's up to me. But on nights when I'm really busy or I just can't be bothered, I like to have a few really quick ideas up my sleeve. So I wanted to share one of those with you tonight. And it's kind of like a cross between a quiche and a pizza. When is a quiche not a pizza? When is a pizza not a quiche? So we actually call it Quizza in our house. And you know what? It's actually really quick to do too. So I wanted to share that with you. This is for the nights when you haven't got a pizza base in the fridge or the freezer, when you don't have time to actually make your own pizza bases, but you still want to give the kids something nutritious and quick. So what I'm going to do tonight is make what I call a salmon quizza. And I pretty much always have a little bit of that hot smoked salmon in the fridge. I love it in salads. I love it in lots and lots of things. It's beautiful in pasta with a creamy sauce. So I've always got one, and I tend to stock up on it when it's on sale. So I actually picked this one up for, I think it was $7. So that's quite a lot of smoked salmon, or that hot smoked salmon for $7. So it actually is going to make... I've got enough ingredients here to make 2 of these, so that's going to feed everybody in our house. So it's really simple, really quick. You can get any kind of tray that you've got. It's nice to have a little edge on the tray, so rather than completely flat, if you have got a round tray or a tray like that that's got a little edge, go for that one. And then all we'll do is just pop a little bit of olive oil just around the edges so we don't stick too much. You could, of course, also put... you could put some baking paper on there if you didn't want to use that oil or you didn't have the spray oil. You could also rub a little bit of butter on there too. And then basically I've just got 3 sheets of puff pastry. I love keeping this. I always have it in the freezer. Obviously it's not the healthiest choice, but for something quick, it's actually really good. So all we do is take our first slice of that pastry. I just peel the plastic off the back. Just do that, and you can see that I've let that go a little bit up the edges. So we're just going to tuck that in there, and I'll just tuck him in there to give you a nice little edge. So that's going to ensure that we can fill up those ingredients. I'll just tuck that paper in there. Here's our second sheet. Now obviously the easiest way to work with this puff pastry is to separate it when it's still frozen. So what I did about 10-15 minutes ago was take these sheets out of the freezer and just put them on the kitchen bench, and now they're fully defrosted. They're really super easy to work with. So there we go, it's the second one, and all I'm going to do there is just literally press with a lovely clean finger. Obviously I've just washed my hands, so you can see that there. Push him into the corner there. Then what I've done with the last sheet that I've got there,
people are commenting they can't watch it. They can't, like...
Oh, is it paused?
No, it's not paused.
Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening. It's a little bit glitchy. What we might do is we'll just keep going. Actually, we might
You can watch it later.
Oh yeah, we'll post it and then you can watch it later. It may be our crazy Wi-Fi. I've just been on the phone to them and they promised me it was fixed. It might actually be our Wi-Fi connection, but I will post it later on as well. I'm really sorry about that. Isn't it frustrating when you're trying to watch it? We'll also put the recipe on the Mouths of Mums website as well, and I'll give you the link to that one.
Some people are saying they can see it perfectly.
Some people are saying it's working fine and others are saying it's not working.
It might be their
Don't you love
Wi-Fi.
technology? It could be your Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry. I was assured by our service guy that ours was okay tonight, because I do know that somebody had a problem the other night. So I'm so sorry about that. One day we'll all get to perfect internet. So what I've done there with that third slice is cut that in half, and that's basically, I mean, you'll probably need to have a bit of a play depending on the size of your pan or your dish that you're using. But for us, this works quite well. There's a little overlap there, but that's okay too. So we're just going to tuck that in. Now, really, you could put whatever you wanted into these. You really can, exactly like you would do with a pizza. Whatever you've got in the fridge, you could use some leftovers. If you've got any mince left over, you could make a Mexican quizza. What I'm going to do, one of my kids doesn't love the hot smoked salmon, so I'm actually going to make a salami version with pretty much exactly everything else the same. I'm just going to switch out the salami for the smoked salmon. So there we go, we've got all of those done. So that's our base. And then pretty much it's just a matter of loading in some of the ingredients. So what I'm going to start with is actually, I'm just going to sprinkle some baby spinach all over the bottom. You could put anything you liked here. You could put some rocket. You could put herbs in there. Now obviously we don't want too much because I actually want my kids to eat it. If I made it too green, they might all freak out. And I might have a mutiny on my hands, but this just gives you a nice bit of colour as well. I always say, do you know what? Cook by colour. If there's a bit of green, a bit of red, it's going to have some appetite appeal. The other thing that I've got there is some Spanish onion. I love a Spanish onion in something like this. It's not going to have to cook for too long. It's a beautiful mild flavour. It tends to be a little bit milder. And I also had a little bit of spring onion left over from last night's dinner. So I'm going to put all of that in there. So you can see that that's giving us just a nice coverage. You don't want to put too much and make it too heavy because you'll actually have trouble getting the base to cook through. So you can pretty much use exactly the same principle you would with a pizza. Go fairly light on the toppings and then you'll get that beautiful puff pastry puffing up in between. Now I've got about 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese there, and what I'm going to do is put half on here. So we'll put half on the base and then we'll put some more on the top just before we pop it in the oven. How's that looking, Ems? Is that looking okay?
Yep.
Rightio. Now the last thing that kind of, oh actually no we don't. Now that's a lot of salmon there, so probably what I'm going to do is just use 1.5 of those fillets, and this actually breaks up beautifully. So you can see there that that is all fully cooked. Actually, there's a little bit of skin on it, and my kids don't really like that, and it's kind of a bit weird to get it in the middle of a pizza. So what you can do with that skin is just peel that off like that, and just pop that to the side. That's got some beautiful oil in it, so you could use that, eat that up yourself, or do you know who loves it in our house? Is our puppy. So I give him just that little bit of salmon skin. He adores that on top of his dinner. He thinks it's a nice little treat. Again, we'll take that skin off. So you can see that we're being fairly light with the ingredients, but we're giving it nice coverage. Now we're going to add the ingredient that kind of makes it like a quiche. And I have got six eggs here, so I'm just going to crack those all over. So literally crack them straight on. What you can do is I like to crack the, do you want to come have a look over here, Ems? Crack those little shells as you go. Crack the yolk, sorry. So you know you've got 6, so you just want to get them evenly distributed all over. 2, 3. There you go, give him a little break up. 3. You could put more eggs on if you wanted to, or if you didn't like eggs at all and you didn't want to go down the quiche route, you could just stick to your cheese and make it a lot more like a pizza. So you can imagine that that's going to cook through beautifully as it all starts to bake away in the oven. Now again, this is quite quick, so pretty much once he goes in the oven, it's really only going to be as long as it takes for that cheese to melt, the eggs to cook through, and that puff pastry to get beautifully golden brown. Now the other thing is, I said red and green, which I love. Here's some nice little truss tomatoes, which are kind of cute, and I love them. And I've already rinsed these, but I'm actually going to pop these onto, I'm going to leave the stems on just for fun, just because that's what they do in the cooking magazines, isn't it? And they will roast beautifully. So there we go, we're going to pop him on there. Again, if you didn't like tomatoes, you could put a little bit of, you could put some capsicum on there. What else is green, Ems? What would you guys put if you're at food tech at school? What else is green? Some little radish. You could put some chili flakes if you were, what you could do is add some chili flakes later on for the grown-ups.
Maybe some herbs. Yeah,
some herbs would look really nice. So there we go, that's looking pretty good. Now I think we'll just put the, oh here we go, look. one lonely little tomato. We can't leave him there, can we? There we go. We'll pop him right there. He can fill in that gap. Oh, someone's pinching the cheese. Emma, hands out. Right, so what we'll do now is I've got that last little bit of cheese left there, and I'm just going to sprinkle that. Just kind of use it to fill in the last little gaps that I've got. Righty-o. Now he or she is going to go happily into the oven, and as I said, it's actually not going to take very long. It's probably going to be about 12-15 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. It will depend on your oven. I use a fairly hot oven, maybe 180, 190, and then I'm just going to pop him in there. The other thing that you could do, you could have actually, I know what we'll do, just for fun. Let me grab out. I've got my pastry brush here. So what you could do is you could actually just dab your pastry brush in your egg and just give the edges of that that puff pastry a little brush
to make
with
it golden.
That's right, makes it beautifully golden brown. You don't even need to use a separate egg. Normally if we were doing pastry we'd crack an egg into a cup and we would brush this on, wouldn't we, Ems?
Yeah.
Now the good thing about that is this is going to be a really quick dinner, and I am going to have time to have a slice before I head out tonight. On Tuesdays this year, the school that my kids go to, French is one of their lessons, and I'm loving, as a test or a pilot, they've actually got a whole lot of parents going in to learn French. So on a Tuesday night I go and do 1 hour of French. Tonight's my second lesson. So I'm hopeless, I'm terrible, I know about 5 words, but I'm excited and it's kind of fun and it's something that I can do with the kids. But the good thing is this will be cooked in time for me to have a piece before we go. So I'm just going to pop him into the oven as he is. Now if you've got a dodgy oven like me, there we go, that just fits in there, just perfectly. My oven actually cooks more in one corner than the other. So in about 7 minutes, I'll put that timer on. This is the cheapest, crappiest oven you've ever seen. I think we bought it on eBay, or Gray's online or something. I'll flip him around, but if you've got a good oven, you'll be fine. Now, while that's cooking, one thing I did want to show you, I actually whipped down to Woolies today and grabbed a whole lot of things to show you, because I don't know if you know about product reviews with Mouths and Mums. That's why we originally started. I started the business so that real mums at home could actually try new products and then come onto the website and tell us what they think. So what I've got here is I just went and bought a whole lot of, this is a whole new range from Woolworths. They've actually got a clean range, which is a whole lot of washing powders and washing liquids. So you can see they've got a product which is perfect for people who've got sensitive skins. So you've got a liquid there and a washing powder. And this one is a concentrate, which I love, so you're not actually using much at all. There's a whole lot of others as well. At the back there you've got this really nice spicy fragrance. There's a liquid and a powder. They've come up with a whole, this is only literally 3, I think there's about 6 in the range. There's a whole lot of fabric softeners, which are beautiful, as you know. There's an Ocean Fresh there. There's a sensitive softener, which actually obviously goes with that one, makes a nice little set there. There's a softener. There is a Spice Temptation. There are 2 brand new softeners, which are just on the market. They're just coming out now, and we've actually got those for our mums to try at home. Then there's this other whole range, which is they've called Strike. Oh, sounds as though other people are home. That sounds like Dad saying hello to everybody. But these are actually Strike products. Do you know what's exciting about these? Each one of these products in the Strike range. Hi, Abs. How is Dad's? That's good. So each one of these is only $2. So can you believe that? Each one of these is $2, and we have got all of these 3 products for our mums to try at home. So jump over to the Mouths and Mums website, look for this range on the homepage, click through and actually apply to review. We've actually got hundreds of these products sitting in our warehouse, and we're going to ship them out to mums who are selected at home. We'll get you to try them at home and then come onto our site to let us know what you thought. We're also going to go and visit some Mouths and Mums members at home with our video crew, and we will actually talk to them at home. So we'll be creating some videos. That's all I wanted to tell you tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to do a slow cooker recipe. I've actually got some nice little chicken lovely legs, and I'm going to give you a really quick shortcut on getting those lovely legs cooking in the slow cooker. So what I'll do is I'll post a photo once our quizza is cooked, and so that you can see what the end product looked like, and I'll also send you a link to where it's already sitting on the Mounts and Mums website. Thank you for joining me. It was lovely to see you. Happy Tuesday. Lots of love. Bye-bye.